Is this thing on? All right, let's get into it. Welcome to Booked and Unbothered, y'all. Listen, I got 2 book reviews, and I'd like to share them with you, so let's get into it. The first book is titled The House of My Mother, A Daughter's Quest for Freedom, and this is by Shari Frankee. I know you all know the story. I did watch the docuseries about her nut job mom, and I had to read the book. I had to. So these are my thoughts. These are my takeaways. Now, when I read a biography, I try to approach them with care, especially when it involves trauma. As someone who also came from a background of abuse, I instantly felt connected to Shari's story. Like I said, I've already saw the docuseries, so I kind of had an idea of what I was walking into, but hearing it come from her words, it hit a little differently. It was poignant, heartbreaking, and deeply, deeply personal. Now, there's many disturbing parts of this book. One that stood out naturally is imagining living and having a mother like Ruby. She forced those kids to participate in her influencer agenda, and she stripped the childhood from those kids. And once they reached a certain age, they couldn't even do normal teen things. I think they pulled the son out of football, all because it didn't fit her brand and her agenda. Ruby was crazy. I'm saying it. She was fucking crazy. And her husband, Kevin, was spineless. Yes, I know that he was brainwashed, but he failed those kids. Those kids needed him. He allowed her to control him and control those kids the way that she did. And the way Ruby turned the siblings against each other. Shari wasn't even allowed to talk to her brothers and sisters at times. And that level of control and manipulation is just cruel. And to top it off, she brings in Jody Hildebrand. Oh my God. That woman had no business influencing anyone's life, let alone a family in a crisis. Jody was the spark to Ruby's match. A toxic situation into a full-blown fire. And listen, I don't care what nobody say. They were fucking. Okay? Kevin had to send a text message if he wanted to go upstairs in his own house. Because Ruby and Jody were upstairs, held up in Shari's old room. They were fucking. Ain't nobody dumb. They were doing it. But y'all, the part that got me the most was when Shari talked about that man named Derek. This man took advantage of a broken and vulnerable girl. She was a child. He should be in jail. The way Shari talked about him, though, like, yes, this happened and that happened, but no, he's not been held accountable. What? He needs to be in jail. This man was a married man with children. The way he stalked, I felt like he was stalking her. The way that he preyed upon her and took advantage of her was just sickening, and that man needed to be in jail. Derek, your ass need to be in jail. My final thoughts is her vulnerability will hit you in the chest if you read this book. And I feel like this isn't just what happened to her. It's about survival. It's about her reclaiming her story, her life, that someone else, her mother, tried to write for her. And I commend her for that. This had to be a hard book to share. He broke the cycle. My next book review is none other than The Crash by Freida Mcfadden. Let me start by saying I have yet to come across a Freida Mcfadden book that I didn't like. The woman knows how to tell a story, period. The Crash, it did not disappoint. Twists and turns in this book is real from beginning to end. I was all in it. I thought I had things figured out. But maybe I was completely wrong. Freida had me second guessing everything all the way down to the last page. I'm not lying. Okay, so we have our main character, Tegan. First of all, I love that name. It gives me the Tegan and Sarah vibe. All right, back to the book. Tegan is super pregnant, like way pregnant. And she's on her way to visit her brother in snowy weather. And of course, naturally, here comes the crash, hence the crash. And from that moment on, that's when things get crazy, like real crazy. Nothing is what it seems, not even close. Not even close. I kept thinking, oh, I got this figured out, or I know where she's going with this. That's incorrect. Freida said, plot twist, somersault, gymnastics. I just sat there because I listened to the audio version. I'm like, she is the queen of gotcha. Just when you settle into a theory, it just starts to feel like, you're ahead of the game, but she pulls that rug right from under you. This book had everything on the menu. Suspense, tension, mystery, psychological twist, and that signature seasoning of Freida Mcfadden, that mind bend that she always leaves and leaves us shook. She's a master at making you think you're in control while she's sitting back like, oh, you thought. I love it. You know what I love most about Freida is the way she keeps you gripped the entire time. Like, you can't skim paragraphs if that's what you do. Every line might come back and smack your ass in the face. She don't just tell the story. She builds a whole web of suspense, and you are the spider. Great book. And that concludes my reviews for the week. I will see you next week. Stay booked and unbothered.